Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger. My friends, we have a new trailer for you for Tekken 8. This time it is Bryan Fury, series stalwart. So we had a little bit of a kerfluffle, I guess you could say. The trailer did indeed leak a day early. It got pulled down almost right away, but you know how internet leaks go. Once it's up for 1 second, it's already too late. But we have the trailer up properly now, and Bryan looks really fun. So obviously, as a classic returning character, has a lot of the classic returning stuff you'd want, but also some new toys and a very, very interesting new mechanic. So we'll go into all that and more. So let's just rewind back to the start and let's start our trailer breakdown. So first off, the new high-res models for Tekken 8 all look great. Bryan is no exception. He looks like greasier and grungier than ever, and that's exactly the way you would want him. For your dead zombie cyborg man, he's not here to look like a pretty boy. And here seems to be doing his best emoji impressions. So fancy taglines, everyone's got them in Tekken 8, and what is Bryan? Bryan is the harbinger of chaos, and fair enough, he's pretty much exactly that in Tekken. That's his whole gimmick. And once again, here's some nice shots of the model. Bit of a flaming punch, and that's gonna be a reoccurring gimmick throughout the trailer as, well, we'll get into it when we get into it. So opening up, we have a new string here, followed by a backsway cancel, and then Jack blocks the backsway cancel and the new move out of the backsway, which also causes chip damage. We could tell by the glow on block. Also, slightly advantage on block, it looks like, followed by 2-1-4, which connects and splats him down. Now this looks like the main event in a lot of ways. So he does what is seemingly just like a generic taunt, except he glows and now his arms are on fire. And this seems to play into a lot of the actual gameplay. For my money, it seems to be very similar to the gameplay mechanic you would see in Jax in Mortal Kombat 11. Jax, the more he attacks with his punches, the more his arms heat up and like get on fire, and it makes him do more damage and gives him new unique moves. Like say his projectile series, you can only use that when you have enough heat on your arms, for example. And on top of attacks, you can also manually just beat your arms together and gain heat that way. And as we'll go into in the trailer, this is exactly what this mechanic reads to me as. He is gaining heat on his arms, and we'll get some very impressive visual effects out of this at the very least, thanks to this heat buildup. So let's look at our next sequence here, because this is going to play into it. So he goes for sidestep 1, which doesn't crumple anymore apparently. Jack is standing just fine after getting hit by it, into this new kind of like guile knee, bazooka style knee. And then he goes for the heat up. So he does the little taunt, he glows, the heat around his arms is flowing, the steam around him, all that. So he has the buff now. And now with that, we go into our next sequence. So he sidesteps and then goes into a new string with a devastating flaming punch finisher, very much brought on by the flame buff, I would say. So this string, it's sort of like Vulcan Cannon or Gatling Rush, although it's like new animation, so I don't know what it'll be. But even during this, so it already has a little heat built up, but during these punches, you see that glow happen, right? So now his arms are glowing red more, there's more fire, and when he burns with that last big finale punch, all the flame effects just completely go away. So he built up more heat at the end of the string, but with the big finale punch, he burns up the remaining heat. That seems to be the case. Here he blocks a move from Jack and goes right into Jet Upper, launching the enemy. Forward 1+2 to rejuggle, which glows, which means it's a power crush now, has armor. Rejuggle stand 1. Back 2-1 with a new ender, which causes a tailspin state. Then wave dash 2 with another new ender, and that just splats Jack down to the ground. So already getting some new toys to work with, as we can see here. Our next sequence, a few things. So he's going for a quarter circle forward 1+2. Nominally, it's a wave dash move, quarter circle forward, but it looks like he might just be doing it raw now, so who actually knows if that changed up. He already has some of the flames around his hand, so he's already like kind of pre-buffed in that way. And also the move has that little flame effect, which means if it were to connect, because it is blocked, if it were to connect, then it would be a heat engager. Now the next part here is very interesting. Bryan tries something, I don't know, even in slow-mo it's hard to tell what he's really going for, but it seems to have a revenge property. Like he gets hit, and then he glows kind of white like it's a power crush, like it's armored or something, and then he does like a big revenge blow after the fact. So it's not that he's quite armoring through the move, it's that if you hit him out of the move, he'll revenge back and strike back anyways. That's what I'm reading out of it anyways. If it is that case, I think that's very cool. Whatever the move is, before Bryan gets hit, you can see the big orange flash. So whatever it is, it's like flame enhanced. As you can see the flame trail too after he gets hit. So he was burning whatever heat he had accumulated on that move. And after Jack gets bopped, it's dead or alive, danger zone wall combo time. He combos out here. This is 3-3-2, and this does have the tailspin property, looks like. Wall splats very high, keeps the combo going with up forward 3. And another new flurry of punches that sort of looks like Vulcan punches, but not exactly quite. Here we see a bit of a rival cutscene. So Paul versus Bryan, Death Fist versus Forward 4-2. Basically a draw, although it feels like Bryan maybe got the worst of it here because he's kind of checking his arm a little bit. He's just lucky Paul didn't rip his arm off, I guess. That said, goes to back 1, counter hit, so gets the bounce from the counter hit. Down 3+4-2, now tail spins. So we get that nice little flip there. Bryan uses his heat burst here and rebounds Paul to keep the combo going. And then follows it up here, so 3, 3, and 4. All in all, neat little combo. Now, also importantly, let's rewind a second here. So he goes through the combo as normal. And now only after here, after he gets the heat burst off and bounds Paul, you can see he has the flame effect on his hand. He did not have that at the beginning of the combo, and he did not do that taunt we saw earlier to build it up. So this happened over the course of the combo. This is why I brought up Jax at the beginning of the video from Mortal Kombat, because it seems to be exactly that. He can either manually build up the flames around his forearms and wrist, or the more he punches the enemy, it looks like it'll build up naturally by itself. Because once again, he did not have this effect at the beginning of the combo. It only happened here by the end, but before the kicks happen here. Our next sequence here, so Bryan sidesteps the attack and seems to have a new sidestep 2 with an extension, which is also a heat engager, as you can see here. And notice again, after those punches, he has the heat effect on his arms again. He did not have that at the beginning of the combo. He must have built up to it. And then Bryan goes for his unblockable taunt and seems to go directly into the heat smash and just sends Paul flying. Once again, the flames coming out to play. Kyo Kusanagi would be proud, I guess. Next up, unblockable taunt again, going into down forward 1-2, which seems to have a new animation, also heat engager, so he gets to follow up after the fact. Has flames now, did not have flames at the start, by the way, and he's going to use those flames right away and just absolutely smash Paul against the wall. Does jet upper, splats him against the wall here as well, 2 splats, and then again this new string we saw earlier, and back sway 4 to finish the combo. Now this segment's nice because they're trying to tell us something with this whole segment, besides just, hey, cool combo with a neat ender. So we start, flames already up, burn our heat on the heat dash with forward 4-2, and then we go into a bit of a combo. Back 3, wave dash cancel 2 into a new knee that tail spins the enemy. Wave dash 3-4 to rejuggle the foe. And now we're going for forward 4-2 again, except this time it's on fire. So we already had the flames up and we started the sequence with forward 4-2, right? So is there like a button hold or a unique input to burn the flames to supercharge a move? That's the real question here. Since he already had some flames up, the first forward 4-2 did not have the flames on it, right? So he chose not to use it, or maybe it's not quite the right level yet and it builds up over the time of a combo. It's difficult to say, but they are going out of the way to show forward 4-2 twice in the same combo, one regular, one not. So there's definitely some layers to the mechanic at bare minimum. And speaking of layers, hey, how about a big slow-mo into a rage art? Because that's that time again. Every trailer we do this. So here, Bryan showing off some of that cyborg tech. So big old punch, as he does, right? Big old Gatling punches, as he does. And then when he sends Paul flying, then we get into like, okay, let's lock on, like use our cyber eyes, all that kind of stuff. It's a bit of a waste of the technology, I would say, because you see this cool close-up with all the eyes, and what does he do with it? Oh, I'm locked on, so I better just punch you really effing hard, right? I feel like he didn't need to lock on to do that. But hey, that's just me. End result is, it's a really cool punch. Now, this is the win pose. This should have been the rage art, in my opinion. Him busting out the Gatling gun, this should be the rage art, and he's just lighting you up. But at least it's there some way, some shape or form. And then he's a big sassy baby, not happy with it, and he just throws it away. right in the direction of the camera because Bryan's just disrespectful like that. And that's the trailer. So overall, I'm actually kind of excited to see how Bryan works. The usual Bryan stuff's all there. Like he still got taunt, still has jet upper. He can put 2 and 2 together with that one, right? But the whole heating up mechanic, flame up mechanic, once again, very reminiscent of Jax in Mortal Kombat 11. And that I consider that a compliment because Jax was fun as hell in Mortal Kombat 11. Jax was one of the best incarnations of Jax ever. So if he's borrowing that mechanic, that is only to Bryan's benefit. Also keeps up with the fact that Tekken 8 is much more flashy than basically any Tekken coming before it. Everyone has either more weapons, more powers, all that kind of stuff. So if Bryan could just do the usual Bryan stuff, except every now and then one of his attacks is going to be supercharged with flames with giant pyrotechnic effects, hey, that works for me. Like on top of the, the new moves, new strings, new extensions on certain strings like new enders, a lot of the returning casts are getting stuff like that, right? But also a lot of them are getting new extra flashy bits, be it all new mechanics, like say Jack has his all new threat stance kind of deal, or new powers like these flame punches, right? So good stuff, man. I like it. I'm just a fan. I can't really say too much more else than that. So overall, as far as the trailer goes, thumbs up for me. Bryan returning is not much of a shocker. I think everyone expected that. But I think it's a pretty good version of Bryan, all things said and told. And other than that, well, I guess we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some Tekken.